Hello there, my beautiful souls. I am here with another video, and I'm just filming all these in a row because we are just pumping it out. Yeah. Okay, so on today's video, we are going to talk about reincarnation. Surprise! You've been here before. What? How dare you tell me that? Well, I'm sorry to be the one to break it to you, but reincarnation is real, and you have been here before. This isn't your first time on Earth. This isn't your first life. This isn't the first time you've done this. And the beautiful thing about this is that you know it. You know that intuitively. When you really look deep inside of yourself, you know you've been here before. I mean, you want to sit here and you want to talk about deja vu? Deja vu is a common experience experienced by all of us, right? And what exactly is deja vu? It's you remembering backwards. Deja vu is your spirit processing information that your mind is trying to make sense of. Your mind is going, wait a minute, how do I know this? How do I know this? How do I know that I feel like I've done this before? Yes, because you're processing information from your spirit instead from your mind. That's what deja vu is. That's why it's a feeling, correct? I feel like I've been here before. I feel like I've seen this before. This because you have. And that is your spirit, your own spirit telling you, hey, remember me. Hey, I'm here. Hey, we've done this. You got this. I believe in you. I love you. This isn't your first rodeo. You can do this. That's what deja vu is. And you may ask yourself, what is the purpose of reincarnation? Why do we keep coming back? Why are we stuck in a karmic loop? There's multiple reasons for that. But the purpose, and I will get into them as I keep flowing and I keep channeling from spirit, because remember, we are spirit-led first, more than anything. The reason reincarnation exists is because there has to be an evolution of consciousness, right? So the reason that you are here is because your spirit wanted to incarnate and experience certain experiences so that your consciousness could expand. Because that is the purpose. That is why you're here. It's for you to keep growing and expanding. And you may ask yourself, what's the goal? What's the finished end? The finished end is ascension. The finished end, right, would be what Jesus was, an ascended master. What Buddha was, an ascended master. What Eckhart Tolle is, what Alan Watts is. Multiple people have been able to achieve. And it is said that once you reach ascension, that is your last incarnation. You are done. You have no need to come back because you know everything. But you may ask yourself, why do I need to keep coming back? It's because the lower, or let's just say, your earlier incarnations or your first incarnations on Earth were the most grounded in biology as like an animal. So for example, your first incarnation, let's just say, was pure animalistic, led by instincts of nature, led by, the need to procreate, the need to eat, it was just primal. Your first incarnations were primal. because spirit needs to prepare you energetically, biologically, psychologically for your growth. So each time you incarnate, right, you incarnate with a higher state of consciousness. And what does that mean? It means that the more you incarnate, the more spirit can flow through you. Because the energies from spirit are so overwhelming, are so powerful, that the body in your earlier incarnations wouldn't be able to sustain it. It wouldn't be able to hold it. You die. I mean, literally, because it's that powerful, right? So spirit needs to prepare you for such an event, and that preparation takes lifetimes. Yes, you do have past lives, and that's what it means when Native Americans talked about honoring your ancestors. Your ancestors, they're not your biological family. Your ancestors are not, oh, my great aunt from 100 years ago that lived in Africa. That's not your ancestor. Your ancestor is your past life. Your ancestors are all of the lives that you had to go through so that you could get to this one. And that's why you have to honor them, because they made the sacrifice so that you could be here today. But at the end of the day, it's still you. Every time you incarnate, you gain amnesia. But you have to remember that memories don't come from the mind. Memories come from soul. So even if you don't remember exactly who you were or what you did in a past life, you will have signs. There are going to be certain things about you that you may ask yourself, why do I feel this weird connection to like medieval England? Or why do I feel this weird connection to Egypt? Or why do I feel this weird connection to this place or this place or this thing? It's because your spirit is remembering. It's remembering all of the times that it has been here. And everything that has experience is accumulative, right? When you go from one incarnation to the next, you don't lose the wisdom, because wisdom is spirit. That's why it's a progress. Each incarnation that you have is going to have more consciousness than the previous one. And I know that a lot of people ask themselves this question. I wasn't going to talk about it, but because a lot of people see time as linear. Time is not linear, right? It's like a big wobbly, I forgot the Doctor Who quote. Oh man, I'm disappointed at myself. A big ball of wibbly wobbly, tiny wimey stuff. Close enough. So incarnations don't work in a linear timeline. So for example, your first incarnation could be in the year 40 BC, and then you die. And then your second incarnation could be in the year 2000. And then your third incarnation could be in the year 1600. And then your fourth incarnation could be in the year 300. God or spirit transcends time and space. It is not linear, because for spirit, everything is happening right now. There is only the present moment. Everything is happening right now. So as you're watching this video, the 1600s are still happening right now. 40 BC is happening right now. The year 3000, the year 300, the year everything is happening right now. Right? When you go, let me see how I can segue into this. So, the reason that spirit doesn't do this in a linear manner is because it depends on what type of experience your spirit wants to have for its own growth. You see, in the fourth dimension, which is the astral realm, you can, in fact, time travel. You can see other points of time and space. Right? Why? Because the fourth dimension is the dimension of energy, it's the astral realm. Therefore, you can bend time and space. It's like, I don't have a, let me see what I can use. Well, it's like having a paper, right? Like you have a paper, but if you fold the paper from one end to another, it connects, right? You don't need to go through the whole paper. You can just bend the paper and connect the ends and connect. That's what you can do in the fourth dimension. That's what energy is. You don't need to constrive yourself through the rules of the 3D because everything is happening in the now moment. So if your spirit wants to experience what it would be like to be in the year 2000 and have certain experiences, it will incarnate here. And then if your spirit decides, which is you, if your spirit decides that after this incarnation it wants to have another specific experience, it may choose so to do so in another time or even in another planet. Which I know is a lot, I know it's shocking, but yes, you can incarnate on other planets. It just depends on what your spirit wants to experience. Everything is spirit led. That's why it's important to you to understand that you are the observer. Um, this I would call the meaning of life. Consciousness is always looking to expand. It's always looking to learn. It's always looking to grow. That's what you came here to do. You came here to grow. You came here to have experiences so that they could push you closer to the truth. I know this may be a trigger warning. Trigger warning. I know this might be a trigger for some people, but you are not a victim of your circumstances. You wanted to come here and experience what it would be like to go through everything that you have gone through in this incarnation. You chose this. Before you incarnated, you knew who you were, who everyone was going to be, the things that you were going to go through. You knew everything and you agreed to it. You are not a victim. You knew what you were going to come here to do, even if you don't know it consciously. You came here to grow. And the Buddhists, they knew this. They knew about reincarnation. In fact, I myself have memories of 3 of my past lives. That is where the wisdom comes from. That is where the knowledge comes from. The Akashic records are real. You can, in fact, go and meet, right? Like in Avatar: The Last Airbender, when he needs guidance to fight Ozai, and he sits down, he summons his ancestors. He summons his past lives. And if you noticed, every one of his past lives was in a lower state of consciousness than Aang was. I mean, if you haven't seen Avatar The Last Airbender, I'm sorry, but that's what Spirit wants me to talk about right now. So I'm just going for it. When Kyoshi, Avatar Kyoshi, when she tells Aang, about killing Ozai, and yet Aang's incarnation is the one that decides, I am not going to kill him. That awakening is what you came here to do as well. Right? Aang's past incarnations weren't as aware or conscious as Aang, even though it's the same spirit. Because spirit is constantly evolving and growing. The advice that his past lives, that he himself gave to himself, was to kill him. But something in him knew that that wasn't the answer, because his consciousness had expanded from his past life, from his ancestors. It's the same thing with you. And with that, I'm going to end it because I don't want to ramble. Thank you very much. Stay tuned.